Okay, so I have to re-record. I just deleted a video that I was recording, and I thought I paused it, but I actually stopped the video, so I have to start this over. Um, so here we go. We're going to start over with a prayer, and then start back at Deuteronomy or Deborah chapter 8. Um, Heavenly Father, thank you. Um, Thank you. The water, the water, the water, the water, the water, Father, the water, the water, the water for just everything that you're doing. The water. I can't even begin to say that enough. There's as many times as I say it's not enough, and I don't even say it enough. But the water, Father, the water for who you are, the water for still being on the throne, the water for the covenant that you're remembering that you made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Um, and not because of Yasharel's righteousness, but because of our forefathers' righteousness. Thank you for remembering the covenant, because, Father, in all honesty, we don't deserve you bringing us back to you, because we did so much. We strayed so far. And it's by your grace and your mercy, and your love of our ancestors that you now bring us back into the covenant, and that you now set things straight for Yasharel. And Father, I say the water. Um, Father, please forgive Yasharel. Please forgive us. Forgive me. Forgive my daughter. Forgive my siblings. Forgive my lineage. Forgive my ancestors. I repent, Father, for my sins, for the sins of my lineage. Um, Father, and I ask you to just come into my heart and to sit with me, to teach me your ways, and to show me your right ruling. Show me, Father. Lead me into all truth. Um, Teach me. I honestly want to know you. I want to be better. I want to be what it is that you called me to be, even though I don't quite understand some things right now, but I'm striving, Father. And even though my heart isn't always where it should be, I hope you do see that I'm desperately trying to get into a place where I am in alignment with you. Father, bless this channel, and bless those who come to the channel seeking to understand and know you also. Thank you again, the water. Uh, these and all things I ask in yours and your son's name. So be it, and make be so. Okay, so chapter 8. Chapter 8 again. And that's okay. So, chapter 8, guard to do every command which I command you today, that you might live and shall increase and go in and shall possess the land of which Yah swore to your fathers. And you shall remember that Yah your Elohim led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you, prove you, and to know what is in your heart, whether you guard his commands or not. And he humbled you and let you suffer hunger and fed you with manna which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by all that comes from the mouth of Yah. Your garments did not wear out on you, nor did your foot swell these 40 years. Thus you shall know in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so Yah your Elohim disciplines you. Therefore you shall guard the commands of Yah your Elohim, to walk in his ways and to revere him. For Yah your Elohim is bringing you into a good land, a land of streams of water, of fountains and springs that flow out of valleys and hills. Wow. A land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land in which you eat bread without scarcity, in which you do not lack at all, a land whose stones are iron and out of whose hills you dig copper. Wow, you dig copper. Hmm. And you shall eat and be satisfied, and shall Barak Yah your Elohim for the good land which he has given you. Be on guard lest you forget Yah your Elohim by not guarding his commands and his right rulings and his laws which I command you today. Lest you eat and shall be satisfied, and build lovely houses and shall dwell in them, and your herds and your flocks increase, and your silver and your gold are increased, and all that you have is increased, that your heart then becomes lifted up, and you forget Yah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the house of bondage, who led you through the great and awesome wilderness, fiery serpents and scorpions, and thirst, where there was no water, who brought water for you out of the flinty rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers did not know, in order to humble you and to try you and to do you good in the end. You then shall say in your heart, my power and the strength of my hand have made me this wealth. But you shall remember Yah your Elohim, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, in order to establish his covenant which he swore to your fathers, as it is today. And it shall be, if you by any means forget Yah your Elohim, and follow other mighty ones, and shall serve them, and bow yourself to them, I have warned you this day, that you shall certainly perish, like the nations which Yah is destroying before you. So you are to perish, because you did not obey the voice of Yah your Elohim. Chapter 9. Hear, O Yasharel, you are passing over the Jordan today to go and to dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourself, cities great and walled up to the Shamaim. Wow. A people great and tall, the descendants of the Anakim, whom you know, and of whom you have heard, or you heard it said, who stands before the descendants of Anak. And you shall know today that Yah your Elohim is he who is passing over before you as a consuming fire. He destroys them and subdues them before you. So you shall dispossess them and destroy them quickly. And as Yah has said to you, do not think in your heart after Yah your Elohim has driven them out before you, saying, because of my righteousness Yah has brought me in to possess this land. But it is because of the wickedness of these nations that Yah is driving them out from before you. It is not because of your righteousness or the uprightness of your heart that you go in to possess this land, but because of the wickedness of these nations that Yah your Elohim drives out from before you, in order to establish the word which Yah swore to your fathers, to to Abraham, to Yachik, and to Yaakov. And you shall know that Yah your Elohim is not giving you this good land to possess because of your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget how you provoked to wrath Yah your Elohim in the wilderness, from the day that you came out of the land of Mitzrayim until you came to this place. You have been rebellious against Yah. Even in Horeb you made Yah even in Horeb you made Yah wrath, so that Yah was enraged with you to destroy you. When I went up into the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant which Yah made with you, then I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread, nor did I drink water. Then Yah gave me the 2 tablets of stone written with the finger of Elohim, and on them were all the words which Yah had spoken to you on the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And it came to be at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Yah gave me the two tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. Then Yah said to me, Arise, go down quickly from here, for your people whom you brought out of Mitzrayim have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded image. And Yah spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and look, they are a stiff-necked people. Leave me alone, so that I destroy them and blot out their name from under the Shemaim, and make of you a nation stronger and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire, and the two tablets of the covenant were in my hand, my two hands. And I looked and saw that you had sinned against Yah your Elohim, and had made yourselves a molded calf. You had quickly turned aside from the way which Yah had commanded you. And I took the two tablets and threw them out of my two hands and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before Yah as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread, and I did not drink water, because of all your sins which you committed in doing evil in the eyes of Yah to provoke him. For I was afraid of the displeasure and rage with which Yah was wroth with you to destroy you. But Yah listened to me that time once more, and Yah was very enraged with Aharon to destroy him. So I prayed for Aharon at that time also, and I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and crushed it, and ground it very small, until it was as fine as dust. And I threw its dust into the stream that came down from the mountain. And at Taberah, and at Massa, and at Kibroth Hatadawa, you made Yah wroth. And when Yah sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given to you, then you rebelled against the word of Yah your Elohim, and you neither trusted him nor listened to his voice. Hi Isaac, how are you doing? Good, good, good. You have been rebellious against Yah from the day that I knew you. So I fell down before Yah the 40 days and 40 nights, for I fell down because Yah had said he would destroy you. And I prayed to Yah and said, O Adonai, Yah, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, whom you have redeemed in your greatness, whom you have brought out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Yachik, and Yaakov. Do not look on the stubbornness of this people, or on their wickedness, or on their sin, lest the land from which you brought us should say, because Yah was not able to bring them to the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. And they are your people and your inheritance, whom you brought out by your great power and by your outstretched arm. Chapter 10. And at this time Yah said to me, Hew for yourself two tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me. Come up to me on the mountain, and you shall make yourself an ark of wood. Then I write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed two tablets of stone like the first, and went up the mountain with the two tablets in my hand. Hold on. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed two tablets of stone like the first, and went up the mountain with the two tablets in my hand. Wait a minute. Chapter 10. I'm going back. I'm sorry. At that time, Yah said to me, Hew for yourself two tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and you shall make yourself an ark of wood. Then I write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. Hmm. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets of the stone like the first, and went up the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 words which Yah had spoken to you in the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Then Yah gave them to me, and I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark which I had made. Oh wow, I never knew that. Wow. Okay. And they are there as Yah commanded me. Now the children of Yasharel departed from the wells of Bena Yaakan to Moserah. Aharon died there, and he was buried there, and Eleazar his son became Kohen in his place. From there they departed to Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda to Yotbatha, a land of rivers and water. And at that time Yah separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yah, to stand before Yah, to serve him, and to barak his name to this day. Therefore Levi has no portion, no inheritance with his brothers. Yah is his inheritance, as Yah your Elohim promised him. And I stayed in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. And Yah heard me at that time also, and Yah chose not to destroy you. And Yah said to me, Arise, go before the people to depart, and let them go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. And now, Yasharel, what is Yah your Elohim asking of you but to revere Yah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, to guard the commands of Yah and his laws which I command you today for your good. See, the Shama'in and the Shama'in of Shama'in belong to Yah your Elohim, also the earth with all that is in it. Yah delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, you above all peoples, as it is today. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and harden your neck no more. For Yah your Elohim is Elohim of mighty ones, and Adon of masters, the great El, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He executes right ruling for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and a garment. And you shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. Revere Yah your Elohim, serve him, and cling to him, and swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and awesome deeds which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Mitzrayim with 70 beings, and now Yah your Elohim has made you as numerous as the stars of the Shamaim. Chapter 11. And you shall love Yah your Elohim, and guard his charge, even his laws and his right rulings and his commands always. And you shall know today, for it is not your children who have not known and who have not seen the discipline of Yah your Elohim, his greatness, his strong hand, and his outstretched arm, and his signs and his works which he had done in the midst of Mitzrayim, to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, and to all his land, and that which he had done to the army of Mitzrayim, to their horses and their chariots, when he made the waters of the sea of reeds overflow them as they pursued you, and how Yah has destroyed them to this day, and what he had done for you in the wilderness till you came to this place, and what he had done to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, son of Reuben, when the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, and their households and their tents, and all the living creatures that were in their possession, in the midst of all Yasharal. For yours are the eyes that saw all the great work of Yah which he did, And you shall guard every command which I command you today, so that you are strong and shall go in and shall possess the land which you are passing over to possess, and to prolong your days in the land which Yah swore to give your fathers to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land which you are going in to possess is not like the land of Mitzrayim from which you have come, where you sowed your seed and watered it by foot as a vegetable garden. Where you sowed your seed and watered it by foot as a vegetable garden. But the land which you are passing over to possess is a land of hills and valleys, which drinks water from the rain of the Shemaim, a land which Yah your Elohim looks after. Wow. The eyes of Yah your Elohim are always on it, from the beginning of the year to the latter end of the year. Wow. Wow. And it shall be that if you diligently obey my commands, which I command you today, to love Yah your Elohim and to serve him with all your heart and with all your being, then I shall give you the rain for your land in its season, the early rain and the latter rain, and you shall gather in your grain and your new wine and your oil. And I shall give grass in your fields for your livestock, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Guard yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other mighty ones and bow down to them. Then the displeasure of Yah shall burn against you, and he shall shut up the Shamaim, and there be no rain, and the land not give its increase, and you shall perish quickly from the good land which Yah is giving you. And you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your being, and shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children are increased on the land of which Yah swore to your fathers to give them, as the days of the Shemaim on the earth. For if you diligently guard all these commands which I command you to do, it to love Yah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways and to cling to him, then Yah shall drive out all these nations before you, and you shall dispossess greater and stronger nations than you. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads is yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon. Wow, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Perath, even to the western sea is your border. Wow. Okay, so every place on which the sole of your feet treads is yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Perath, even to the western sea is your border. Oh, hold on. Okay. I had to highlight that because that tells me where our land is. Okay. No man shall stand against you. Yah your Elohim shall put the dread of you and the fear of you upon all the land where you tread, as he has spoken to you. See, I am putting before you today a barakah and a curse. The barakah, when you obey the commands of Yah your Elohim, which I command you today, and the curse, if you do not obey the commands of Yah your Elohim, but turn aside from the way which I command you today to go after other mighty ones which you have not known, And it shall be when Yah your Elohim has brought you into the land which you go to possess, that you shall put the Barakah on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. And they not beyond the Jordan, following the way of the sun westward into the land of the Canaanites who dwell in the desert plain opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of Morah? Hmm. Hmm. For you are passing over the Jordan to go to possess the land which Yah your Elohim is giving you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it. Are they not beyond the Jordan, following the way of the sun westward, in the land of the Canaanites who dwell in the desert plain opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of Morah? For you are passing over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yah your Elohim is giving you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it, and shall guard to do all the laws and right rulings which I am putting before you today. So that's an interesting verse, because it says that we went westward, that where when we went over the Jordan, we went westward. We followed the way of the sun westward. So our land after the Jordan was to the west. We were possessing land to the west. So that was just an interesting little tidbit that I noticed. Okay, chapter 12. These are the laws and right rulings which you guard to do in the land which Yah Elohim of your fathers is giving you to possess all the days that you live on the land. Completely destroy all the places where the nations which you are dispossessing serve their mighty ones, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. And you shall break down their altars and destroy their pillars and burn down Asherim with fire. And you shall cut down the carved images of their mighty ones, and shall destroy their name out of that place. Do not do so to Yah your Elohim, but seek the place which Yah your Elohim chooses out of all your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling place, and there you shall enter, and there you shall take your burnt offerings and your tithes and the contributions of your hand and your vowed offerings and your voluntary offerings and the firstlings of your herd and your flock, and there you shall eat before Yah your Elohim, and shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to do, or that you put your hand to, you and your households in which Yah your Elohim has barak you. Do not do all that we do here today, each one whatever is right in his own eyes, because you have not yet entered the rest and the inheritance which Yah your Elohim is giving you. But you shall pass over the Jordan, and shall dwell in the land which Yah your Elohim is giving you to inherit. And he shall give you rest from all your enemies round about you, and you shall dwell in safety. And it shall be that unto the place which Yah your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell there you are to bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your tithes and your contributions of your hand, and all your choice offerings which you vowed to Yah. And you shall rejoice before Yah your Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters, and your male servants and your female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Guard yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, except in the place which Yah chooses. In one of your tribes, there you are to offer your burnt offerings, and there you are to do all that I command you. Only whatever your being desires you shall slaughter and eat according to the barakah of Yah your Elohim which he has given you within all your gates. The unclean and the clean do not eat of it, of the gazelle and the deer alike. Only the blood you do not eat, pour it on the earth like water. You are not allowed to eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, or of the new wine, or of your oil, or of the firstling of your herd, or your flock, or of any of your offerings which you vow, or of your voluntary offerings, or of the contribution of your hand, but eat them before Yah your Elohim in the place which Yah your Elohim chooses, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Yah your Elohim in all that you put your hands to. Guard yourself that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When Yah your Elohim enlarges your border as he has promised you, and you say, "Let me eat meat," because you long to eat meat, you eat as much meat as your being desires. When the place where Yah your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock which Yah has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates as much as your being desires. Only as the gazelle and the deer are eaten, so you are to eat of it. The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Hmm. Hmm? The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Only be firm not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life. Do not eat the life with the meat. Do not eat it. You pour it on the earth like water. Hold on, I have to back up. Okay. Okay, so verse 22, only as the gazelle and the deer are eaten, so you are to eat of it. The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Only be firm not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life. Do not eat the life with the meat. Do not eat it. You pour it on the earth like water. Do not eat it, that it might be well with you and your children after you when you do what is right in the eyes of Yah. Only the Kadesh gifts which you have and your vowed offerings you are to take up and go to the place which Yah chooses. And you shall make your burnt offerings, the meat and the blood, on the altar of Yah your Elohim. And the blood of the offerings is poured out on the altar of Yah your Elohim, and you eat the meat. Guard and obey all these words which I command you, that it might be well with you and your children after you forever when you do what is good and right in the eyes of Yah your Elohim. When Yah your Elohim cuts off from before you the nations which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, how did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too. Do not do so to Yah your Elohim, for every abomination which Yah hates they have done to their mighty ones, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. All the words I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add to or take away from